What's up, everybody? I'm back to tell you guys about my favorite picks from the February previews catalog. We're going to take a look at a lot of indie books that are in the catalog this month. So these are the books you want to let your shop know about as soon as possible that you want to order so that when they're coming out in May, you have them on your pull list already. So I think I have 8 books potentially here, somewhere around there. And I am going to start with really, I guess, my last pick, but I like all of these picks for this month. So I'm going to start there, work our way towards my favorite picks. And this first one is coming from Humanoids. It's a graphic novel called Eden from Chris Sabella, Mark Lamming, and Lee Lowridge. Created by Elaine Bisma and Abel Ferry. Desperate to escape a dying Earth, a family schemes their way onto a massive spaceship towards a new planet, Eden. But shortly after they take off, they discover the terrifying truth, and their journey towards salvation becomes a fight to survive. That one in shops April 10th, actually. Did I say, I said May? April would be the month that these are releasing. Coming up next, we're going to one from Distillery Media. This one is Spectrograph #1 from James Tynion IV and Christian Ward. Reason it's up lower on my list is I'm not super into what Distillery's doing in terms of one, I'm not super into the larger size comics. It's not as easy to store, it's not as easy to hold when you're reading it. So not too super into that, and I don't like their practices of digital comics and limiting when you can get them and essentially creating NFTs of comics. Not a fan of that. But I am a fan of these creators. James Tynion's always doing quality work, and Christian Ward's artwork is some of the best stuff that I ever come across in comics. So I have to get this for that reason. And this team's joined forces to bring a horror story to us, a ghost story steeped in the decay of a century of capitalism. For years, the mansion has sat strangely nestled into the coastline, just a short drive north of Los Angeles. Rumors have haunted the place for years. Its owner, a titan of American industry, with a strange fascination in the occult and the paranormal. For decades, the richest men and women of the country have whispered to each other, trying to understand what he was building alone in that mansion for all those years. And now, finally, with his death and his estate finally open for sale, they are eager to find out for themselves. Two of the most celebrated visionaries of the medium, James Tynion and Christian Ward, invite you into the world of Spectrograph, a haunting cerebral horror novel that peels back the layers of America's opulent wealth and uncovers the rot underneath. But be careful, once you enter, you may never leave. Say it's perfect for fans of The Haunting of Hill House and The Conjuring. Next up, from Ahoy Comics, we've got one called Deadweights, issue #1 of 6. This one from writer Tyrone Finch and artist Sebastian Perez. I always pick up Sebastian's books, no matter what they are. I'm not familiar with the writer. I didn't even need to read what the story was about, but I love his artwork, and so it was an easy thing to say yes on. Is this another exciting new superhero universe? No, just a buddy comedy about two unlucky henchmen trying to make their way in the world. Deadweights takes a hard look at what happens after the fight when the villains are tired of being villains. I like it. And the heroes aren't as heroic as they want you to think, featuring the first of 6 mugshot incentive covers by Richard Pace, which will form a linked image. So that is probably the cover B, 1 in 10, something like that. I don't see that right away on here, but it's an incentive cover. Yeah, it's cover B. So it's probably a 1 in 10. Knowing Ahoy, they don't do huge ratio variants. But I like that idea, but cover A is Sebastian's cover. I'm going to go in for those cover A's and enjoy the story. Next up from Dark Horse, we've got a new one from Rich Doak and Gavin Smith. Rich been on the channel before to talk about some stuff with Alex Cormack, and I love his storytelling. I love what they've been doing with their other comic over at Dark Horse right now. And on this one, that we have Gavin Smith on the artwork. This cover looks incredible. And this one, what is it about? Attila thought she was saving the world, but hunting the great beasts wound up dooming it. Betrayed by her lord and left for dead, she awakes in a dark world overrun by nightmares, with a single mission on her mind: revenge. A thrilling new dark fantasy tale from the minds of Rich Doak and Gavin Smith. Love me a good dark fantasy story. Next up, coming from Mad Cave Studios, we have Love Me, a Romance Story from Francesco Perillo and Stefano Carticelli. Back with some more incredible artwork coming out from Mad Cave Studios. Stefano's previous story, name I'm blanking on right now, was incredible. I loved it, and the name is just gone from my head. But I love his artwork. I love everything he's done with Jonathan Hedrick. And so this one immediately, again, art pulled me in to get a story. New York City, sometime in the far future, where robots like JoJo have taken over the tasks humans no longer want to perform, like driving a taxi. JoJo is pretty happy with his lot in life, but feels as though something is missing. Then he meets Gilda, and it's love at first sight. But the course of true love is a bumpy one, and JoJo is going to find out firsthand when he discovers that Gilda is entangled with the mafia that runs his beloved city, and they're very much against this potential union for their own reasons. Watch out, JoJo. We're coming into the top 3 here. I'm going over to another one from Mad Cave Studios. This one just looks phenomenal. A team that I'm not familiar with, but it just sounds so good. Gary Maloney writing, Daniel Romero Ulloa on art, and just a phenomenal cover by Marco Rudy here. This is When the Blood Has Dried. Years ago, a stranger came to Carrig on Boone, a little town on the edge of Southern Territories. The locals eventually came to see this blow-in, Meeb of Colonia, as one of their own. Whew. This is so fantasy. Now Meeb has taken over as proprietor of the Low Inn, finding a semblance of peace after a lifetime of adventuring. However, the proposed opening of a branch of the Adventurers Guild risks dragging her past into the present. What would the townsfolk do if they discovered their beloved barkeep was once part of a ruthless band of rogue sellswords masquerading as noble heroes? It's a tragic tale of loss and redemption that asks what's left behind after the bodies are buried and when the blood has dried. In shops, April 10th. Love Me in shops, April 17th. And then, coming from friend of the channel and local here to me in New Orleans, John McCarthy. We've got Dirt Witch. It's a one-shot coming from Blood Moon Comics. Art by Thomas Tikas. I think he just sent me a copy of this, so I'm going to read and try to review that coming up very soon. It's a 36-page oversized issue. Randall made a terrible mistake. He knew not to play the record backwards, but victims of bullies often make desperate decisions. Now she is here, and she must be fed. A terrifying new creature to the world of horror via a tragic tale about the consequences of action. April 24th, this one's coming out, and if you're ordering it, looks like there's a typo in the catalog. It says Dirt Watch one shot. So if you're telling your shop about this one and you tell them you want to get Dirt Witch, let them know they may need to add Dirt Watch. It's from Blood Moon. It has a code of FEB241285. So you can send them that code and that'll take them to the book as well. But I did note that typo, and it might be something that affects them being able to find the book. So just let them know, and they'll be able to do that. And last but not least, we had an interview recently with Tony Fleece and Trish Forstner and about Feral. But Tony also has another new book coming out. This time, it's coming from Boom Studios. I think this is his first Boom Studios book, if I'm not mistaken. And it's called Uncanny Valley. It's a 6-issue miniseries, but with plans for 12 issues, should Boom give the green light. What is this one about? Oliver is seemingly a typical 12-year-old boy, except for a mysterious family history that seems to start and end with his mother and unexplainable powers, that is. He can do things other boys can't, to the point of landing him in some trouble. Baffled by the surreal cartoonish natures of his abilities and followed by a murder of peculiar crows, the mystery behind Oliver's family history finally unfolds. Written by fan favorite writer Tony Fleece and illustrated by acclaimed artist Dave Wachter. Discover what makes Oliver special and strange as he searches for his place in the world. Coming out April 10th. This looks incredible. The animated style again coming out in this. He's really just taken a look at cartoons and how they've affected him in ways. We talk about it in the interview. Excuse me. Still working on editing it. So this is going to come out, I think, before the interview, but the interview is coming out within the next couple days. So keep your eyes peeled for that and watch it and go get Feral as well. But if you want to get this one, it's in the catalog this month. So go ahead and tell your shop. That is it. That's my, I think, what did I say, 8 books. All fantastic indie books. There are more books coming in the catalog. I try to find the things that I'm going to enjoy. I think then that you will enjoy since you're watching my content. Big fan of everything that Mad Cave has been putting out. Fantastic quality stuff. Love what John McCarthy's been doing. So Dirt Witch is something I'm really excited for. And of course, Tony Fleece, like I said, love everything that he's been doing, including Local Man over at Image, Stray Dogs in the past, and Feral coming up. So all of these are must grabs for me. We've got some art teams that I love. Some really cool things coming up, and you guys should go check all these out. Let me know in the comments which of these you think you're going to love the most, and which ones that you're going to be ordering from your shops. Thanks for watching. As always, collect what you love. See you next time.